The Republican Party, specifically Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, are absolutely, without doubt, in panic mode. They are scrambling and freaking out. They are unable to stop the momentum, the excitement surrounding the Kamala Harris campaign and her candidacy. It's just a runaway train of endorsements from Republicans. Hundreds of Republicans just signed on to a letter. I talked about that last week. Donald Trump's own vice president, his own national security advisor, his own chief of staff, his own secretary of defense have said he deserves to be nowhere near power. Several high-profile Republicans spoke at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, throwing their support, not just to say we don't support Donald Trump, but to say we endorse Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and we're going to vote for them. That's a big deal. It's not a normal thing that's happening. And the other thing that is not normal that's happening is the absolute flip-flop that's happened in the polls, that we went from kind of an anemic situation where it was either head-to-head or Donald Trump leading in the swing states, the critical swing states. Again, I'm not talking about California and New York and Massachusetts. I'm not talking about right here in Washington, D.C. I'm talking about Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Georgia. I'm talking about Nevada and Arizona, the states that are going to decide this election. And right now, Kamala Harris, I'm going to put this poll up, this chart up, to show you just how dramatic the turnaround is and the trajectory that appears to be taking place. She's leading in Wisconsin 52 to 44. That is an 8-point swing. And if you look at the blue there, it's on the rise. Donald Trump is heading down, Kamala Harris campaign heading up. Leading by 4 in Pennsylvania, leading by 4 in Nevada, leading by 3 in Michigan, and then 2 in North Carolina, Georgia. The only state that is even close here is Arizona. But if you look, they're meeting in the middle there. Donald Trump, and I've said this, and I'm going to continue to say it because it is self-evident, cannot get out of his way. He is attempting to, it seems, just end the campaign now. Because as I've said, I guess I'm going to continue to say things I've said, and I'm going to continue to say that I'm going to continue to say them. Donald Trump isn't trying to win the election through democracy. He's not trying to rely on the votes from MAGA because there's not enough of them to win him the election. Not anymore. Too much support has evaporated away. He's turned too many people off. Undecided voters, independent voters, they're tired. There's a Trump fatigue that people are suffering through. So he's not trying to rely upon democratic means to win. He's going to try legal wrangling, and if that fails, maybe a second insurrection. He's prepping the crowd, the domestic terrorist adjacent QAnon crowd, signaling to them what they need to do. He's retweeting their "Where we go, one we go all." He's tweeting or posting on Truth Social the "nothing can stop what's coming." All of this ominous, bizarre language. Because he's losing. And that is what he's going to have to rely upon. I'm going to read a little bit from this Hill article. Here's the title if you want to read it. Harris leading Trump by 2 points in battleground states. Poll. 2 points. It's deep in here that they start 3 paragraphs in where they start talking about Wisconsin and that she's leading by 8 points in that state. Vice President Harris is leading former President Trump by an average of 2 points across 7 battleground states as the White House race remains tight, according to polling released Thursday. A Bloomberg News Morning Consult poll found Harris has a 2-point average edge over Trump when it comes to registered voters in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. She is ahead by 1 point within the poll's margin of error when it is restricted to likely voters in these states. The lead was strongest in Wisconsin, 3 paragraphs deep here. The lead was strongest in Wisconsin, where she edged out Trump by 8 points among registered voters, followed by Nevada and Pennsylvania, where she led by, I just read these numbers. I'm not gonna read them again. Harris's lead in North Carolina is especially notable, as pollsters point out, no Democratic presidential candidate has won there since former President Obama in 2008. The gains Harris has seen in the Tar Heel state prompted the nonpartisan group Cook Political Report to shift the state's presidential race from lean Republican to toss-up. Remember, again, this is the theme of the episode of me repeating things I've said in the past because I want to drill it into people's heads. I think I'm a reliable source for prediction and commentary and analysis. And that is, my prediction is there are going to be at least one, maybe two surprises in November of states that are traditionally Republican that are going to go for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I'm going to continue to say it so when it happens, I can toot my own horn. The Thursday poll follows a Fox News survey that found Harris similarly making gains in the Sun Belt states of Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada. The Trump campaign later ripped Fox News over the polling. The former president has largely dismissed the notion that Harris has crept up in the polls, and the polls also suggest the selection of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as Harris's running mate had a more positive impact on increasing swing state voters for the Democratic ticket compared to the selection of Senator J.D. Vance, Republican of Ohio, and its effect on the Republican ticket. Do you think? Do you think? Donald Trump is frantic, trying to, oh, they're not weird. We're not weird. They're weird. Oh, no. They're always talking about weird. We're the good ones. They're the weird ones. We're not weird. I'm not weird at all. J.D. Vance isn't weird. We're not weird. Bizarre moments on the campaign trail from Donald Trump. And then you juxtapose their freakish behavior, their panicked behavior, their misogynistic, hateful behavior against Tim Walz, who in the interview last night talked about his son with deep emotion and love. You don't get that from J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. J.D. Vance can't even defend his wife against virulent neo-Nazis and white supremacists who judge her because she has a different tone of skin than they do. These people are cowards. Gross. And America's waking up to it. Again, there's a fatigue that's happened, and I'm here for it, I'll tell you. What do you think? I would love to know. You can comment below. That'll help the algorithm to share this content with new prospective viewers. I'm actually guest hosting for David Pakman today over there. There's a bunch of topics that I'm not going to talk about here, but, go check that out. And if you're here from there and you're still here, make sure you're subscribed. I'm trying to get to 800,000 in the next month or so, and you can be a part of that. I would appreciate it. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. And if you want to help support this work, help me produce these videos, reach the people that I do on a monthly basis, you want to take part in that, click the join button below. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Or alternatively, go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help the effort there. I love and appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine and take care of one another.